Have you ever had a reason to get on an app and then as soon as you get on there, something grabs your attention into a chokehold, and before you notice, your 5 minutes have gone by, your 10 minutes are completely stolen from you? It's happened more times to me than I care to admit. But none of that is coincidence, right? It's all a plan. It's all a plan to not only snatch your attention, because they know if they can snatch your attention, that also means that they can gain your time. And the more time they can suck away from you, they can program you with certain messages that we don't even realize is entering our minds. There's something flashing on the screen over here, flashing on the screen over there, taking our attention to the point where we don't notice the little things that are slipped in. This has been one of the main things that they've worked on for years upon years upon years, where they study how the brain works. They study all these little things that will subconsciously activate this part of the brain and cause you to do this. These people have gotten really good at this. Every time you open an app, there's someone out there, they're getting paid to rob you of your attention. It's their whole objective. They don't care about your goals or your dreams. They don't care about what you have going on. They don't care about what your to-do list said. They just care about stealing your time. And it's all the objective of the enemy. We know who the enemy is. It's the opposition, the adversary, the one who seeks to steal, kill, and destroy. The one who doesn't want to see us win. He doesn't want to see our light shining for other people. He doesn't want to see them. He doesn't want to see you take those other people out of that trance that they're in of wasting their time. They want you to just follow in line. They want you to just stay entertained with your mind numbed so you don't ever notice any attacks. They want to dull all of your senses so you don't notice anything. You're too focused on this. You are distracted, so I can just slip this in over here. You notice the thing is about the distractions, they actually cause a certain kind of craving in your mind. So it's not just them stealing your time in that moment. They're going to steal your future time too, unless we start living intentionally. They plant the kind of seed in our minds that drives us to want more. It gives us that dopamine, that chemical that the mind just loves so dearly. If they can give us that same kind of feeling that we would typically get if we actually went out and worked hard for something, then it's easy to trap us. They hijack our minds, rewire it to the point where none of that other stuff outside of the app, outside of the social media, the short videos, whatever it is that they snatched our attention with, none of that other stuff seems appealing anymore. We'd rather just do that pleasurable thing we did before. We'd rather just sit there and swipe and swipe and swipe and swipe until we find another thing that makes us laugh out loud. Sometimes we get something that makes us, we snicker a little bit, but it doesn't cause us to burst out in laughter. And that's really what we ultimately end up being after. And that's how we know they got us. So every time you open an app, I challenge you to have an aim. Yes, we have a reason. But to actually open the app with an objective. And plant in your mind that, okay, as soon as I open this app, they're probably going to try to attack my attention. They're probably going to try to suck me in with some kind of video that the algorithm has been studying me enough to realize that I might like this video. But we have to be intentional about this. This is my objective. This is what I'm going to do. As soon as I open this app, I'm not getting caught into a video. I'm going to execute on this. Whether it be post content, whether it be replying to a DM for a friend, whatever it is. And then after we complete the objective, we get off the app, and then we acknowledge the victory we just gained. Then that causes a different kind of dopamine release. So I do have control. So I don't have to get on these apps and actually waste time. So I can do this again. It's a kind of reward. It's a victory that you're actually acknowledging. Because many of us don't actually acknowledge the victories that are worth acknowledging. And then the other trick is going to be to not actually open the apps for absolutely no reason. Because that's an easy way for us to get caught into the trap. I've done that more times, again, than I care to admit. And this is exactly why I can talk about it. Because can you really talk about something without the experience, without being a practitioner? Can you really know what you're talking about if you are just speaking about theory? So it begins with the awareness. Can we actually take the time to train ourselves to pick up on the things that are taken away from what we should be doing? You know, if we actually have, outside of these apps, clear objectives, I need to be doing this to stay on track of what my assignment is. If we don't have those clear objectives, then we're going to be more susceptible to fall into the mindless, pointless opening of these apps and getting our time sucked away. Okay, I need to be attacking this. And if we really want to get on the apps, why don't we collect a bunch of victories first? And then when we get on the apps at the end of the day or whenever the time is after we complete the objectives, then we won't feel guilty for burning away our time because we know we stacked up win after win after win. So over time, inevitably, we're going to become that person that we aim to be. Instead of the person who rewards themselves with the mindless entertainment, hopping on the apps before we even complete any objectives. And by the time we get off the apps, we drained our mental energy to the point where we don't even feel like attacking anything. The only thing we feel like doing is getting back on the app and wasting more time. It's exactly why we get caught into the binge watching of these shows. And they've honestly made it even easier nowadays. You don't even have to touch the remote. It'll just automatically play the next episode, the next movie. So all you have to do is just sit there and use your eyeballs. That's what we do anyways. It takes no effort. Therefore, we get stuck in a loop. And before I start myself off on a completely different tangent, on another way of distraction, let's overcome these apps. Let's overcome this mindless entertainment, this pleasure that's not going to get us anywhere. And let's start our lives in a different direction and reclaim our time and attention back. If you made it to this point in the video and you watched this far, first of all, you're a real one. I thank you. Shout out to you. Because you could have been doing anything else, but you decided to take the time and, listen to me talk in a car in some random location in a parking lot. So I appreciate you. And if you want to have somebody that's actually going to be walking down this path of the straight and narrow path that you decided to take, if you want that person that you know that's going to be right next to you on this journey of improvement, of following the assignment, being obedient, hit the subscribe. The whole goal is to have a streak. We do this every day. So I'll see you in the next video, and adios for now.